Hello, welcome back to my another session. In this session, I have a talk about the comparison in between multiple alleles and polygenic inheritance. Usually, the student have confusion regarding multiple alleles and polygenic inheritance. In this session, I am going to compare in between the multiple alleles and the polygenic traits, their behavior and their meaning. I have already made two separate videos regarding multiple alleles and polygenic inheritance. So let me start the comparison in between multiple alleles and polygenic inheritance from example. So let me take the example in case of multiple alleles. Multiple alleles means suppose that gene which has number of allelic forms. Suppose that in case of ABO blood group system of human, there is the gene capital I. This capital I, it has different forms. Suppose that the letter is same, capital I with superscript A, IB and IO. So these three allelic forms. So one gene is capital I. It has three allelic forms. More than two or three forms are present here. Here more than two forms mean three forms are present here. That's why it is known as the multiple alleles. Multiple means many. If the single gene it has more than two number of alleles are present. That's why it is known as the multiple alleles. But in case of polygenic inheritance, poly means many, genic means gene, inheritance means transmission. So the character, if the character which is controlled by number of genes, suppose that here the character which is controlled by the gene 1, gene 2 and gene 3. And suppose that the skin color, consider the skin color of human. Here the skin color of human, this gene this character, it has three genes or three genes, they control the skin color of human. And such trait means the skin color of human, here which is known as the polygenic trait, and the transmission of such gene which is known as the polygenic inheritance. So each gene, it has again two forms, capital A, small a, suppose that capital B, small b and capital C, small c. So these are the two alternate forms are there. One is additive gene, another is non-additive gene. This is additive, capital letter is additive gene, one is non-additive gene, capital letter is additive gene and small letter is non-additive gene here. In case of polygenic inheritance, these genes may present different loci of same homologous chromosome pair. Suppose that here present A, here B and here C. So three genes are present, single homologous chromosome pair in different loci of the same chromosome, or these genes may present different loci of different homologous chromosome pair. Suppose that here A and B present, but here gene C present. So in case of skin color of human or the polygenic inheritance, these genes may present different loci of same chromosome or different loci of different chromosome. But in case of ABO blood group system, in case of multiple alleles, here suppose that this is the chromosomal pair. That is the three genes here. Here is three genes. So out of three gene means here is three allelic forms. So out of these three allelic forms, only two allelic forms may present in one individual. So here one individual they have, suppose that IA, IB, the blood group will be AB. If the individual, another individual which contains IA, IO, so the blood group will be A here. So one individual which contains, out of these allelic forms, only two allelic forms present in one individual and other allelic forms present in another individual. It means other allelic form present in other individual means other population, in the population. But in case of polygenic inheritance, all the genes are present in single individual, but all the allelic forms, in case of multiple alleles, they are present in a population. So when we talking about the multiple alleles, we should consider the population. So one individual contains only two allelic form, but other allelic forms present in other individual, means in the gene pool of the population. Gene pool of the population. So what is the meaning of multiple alleles? One gene has more than two allelic forms. So in case of blood group, ABO blood group system, the capital I gene which has three allelic form here, IA, IB, IO, which is known as the multiple alleles. Polygenic inheritance, many gene control single trait. So here many gene means gene 1, 2, 3, which control the skin color of human, which is known as the polygenic inheritance. And the trait means the character, which is known as the polygenic trait. Come to the second point, a gene has more than 2 or 3 forms. So here the gene which has more than 2 or 3 forms means more than 2 number of allelic forms or 3 number of allelic forms. But here a trait is controlled by a group of non-allelic genes. So here these are the single gene which has 2 forms A and B. These are the allelic forms. But the gene 1 and gene 2, it has capital B and small b, and gene 3 which is capital C and small c. So here these A and B, these are the non-allelic. So A and B, these are the non-allelic. A and C, these are the non-allelic. B and C are the non-allelic. So a trait is controlled by a non-allelic genes. Now come to the third point. One individual has 2 alleles. So in case of multiple alleles, out of these allelic forms, only 2 allelic forms are present in single individual, and rest of the allelic forms will be present in the other individuals of the population. So here all polygene present in single individual, but in case of polygenic inheritance, all the genes are present in the single individual. This is the single individual. I have already told this is the single individual. Polygenic inheritance, which shows complete or codominance behavior. If both A and B gene present, the blood group will be AB. So this is the codominance, which shows the codominance. If capital A and IA and IO present, here IO means this allelic form, IO or I0, which remain in recessive form, that's why a blood group will be A. So which show the complete dominance. But in case of fourth number, but in case of polygenic inheritance, which shows the cumulative or additive effect. If the individual having more number of capital letter here, more number of additive genes, the intensity of the phenotypic expression will be more. So the phenotypic expression which depends upon the number of additive genes. So these are the additive genes. So each additive gene, it has the single dose of intensity of expression of phenotypes. If more number of additive genes are present, then the effect will be more intensive than those individual contains less number of additive genes. So the intensity of phenotypic expression, which is directly proportional to the number of presence of additive genes. All the genes togetherly, they show the cumulative effect or the additive effect. That's why these, in case of polygenic inheritance, there is the cumulative or additive effects, and it has the complete, or it shows the complete or codominance. Now come to the another point, the point number 5. Environmental factors have no effect. So in case of determination of blood group, there is no effect of the environmental factors. But in case of polygenic inheritance, for example, skin color of human, which may highly affected by the environmental factors. So environmental factor may also determine the production of melanin pigment in the skin. It means which may affect the skin color of human being. So the multiple alleles, they have no effect, they have no environmental effect, but the polygenic traits, they have the high effect of the environmental factor. Now come to the 6th point. Present at same loci of homologous chromosome. I have already told that these allelic forms, they may present the same loci of the homologous chromosome. But here the different genes, the polygenic inheritance, the different genes, they present different loci of same chromosome or different chromosomes. Here there is the 3 different number of loci here, and which contains ABC gene, or these ABC gene here present in single chromosome, or it may present different loci of the different chromosome. So this is the point number 6. Now come to the 7th number. Determine the qualitative trait. So the blood group system ABO, this is the qualitative, the quality which determine the qualitative trait. One is blood group A, another is AB, another is O. This is the qualitative. But the trait which determine the quantitative trait, means the height of human, the skin color of human, such trait may measure by the quantitative parameter. That's why which is known as the quantitative trait, and such polygenic inheritance also known as quantitative inheritance, because these phenotypic expression, in case of polygenic inheritance, in case of polygenic traits, their phenotypic expression you can describe, you can measure by the quantitative parameter. That's why they are known as the quantitative inheritance. Now come to the last point. Don't show range of phenotypic variation in human. So here there is the 3 allelic forms A, B, O. Blood group, they may be the blood group A, B, and O. So there is only 4 number of variation, there is 4 number of traits in case of multiple alleles, and you can easily count the blood group 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 number of blood groups are there. But in case of polygenic inheritance, the skin color of human, they have the multiple varieties of skin color you find. If you consider the height of the human, then you find a multiple varieties of height from tall to dwarf you may find. So it means multiple alleles don't show range of variation in a population. But in case of polygenic inheritance, they show the continuous variation of phenotypic expression. In between tall and dwarf, there is so many number of varieties of trait. So in between white and in between dark skin color, there may be the so many number of variation. That's why That's why don't show range of variation. So in multiple alleles, there is no so much variation. You can calculate here only the 4 variations are present, but here so many variations are present, and which is known as the continuous variation, the phenotypic variation. So it shows the continuous phenotypic variation in the population. So these are the comparison in between the multiple alleles and the polygenic inheritance. And the example, the ABO blood group system, which is controlled by the multiple alleles. There are several examples in case of polygenic trait. So polygenic trait may be the height of human, eye color of human, skin color of human, intelligence of human. So there are so many examples, so many polygenic traits. So these are the comparison in between the polygenic inheritance or polygenic traits and the multiple alleles. In case of multiple alleles, we have the complete, or it shows the complete or codominance behavior. But in case of polygenic inheritance, it shows the cumulative or additive effects. So thank you for watching.